This is All India Radio. We now bring you an interview with Sadhguru Jaggi Vasudev on the status of world environment. Interviewer is Prasar Bharati board member Shaina NC.
Namaskaram. Today we have in our midst a visionary, a mystic, a yogi. Somebody who has traveled the entire globe. 30,000 kilometers in 100 days is unheard of. But Sadhguru has created history and history for a cause called Save the Soil. Let's welcome Sadhguru.
Namaskar.
बहुत स्वागत आपका और पूरे देश में आज चर्चा हो रही है कि आपने कैसे लोगों को एकत्रित किया है, लेकिन विश्व भर में भी सदगुरु का नाम यानी कि भारत का नाम। आपने मिट्टी की बात की, you've talked about the soil. What is the obsession with this entire movement? Because it started with so many things like planting of trees, then going to Kaveri calling, then obviously rally for rivers, and now culminating into Save Soil, which is all related to soil. So aap bataएं.
Well, it's not my obsession. It's an absolute necessity that if we do not address right now as a generation of people, we will be a very regretful generation. And it is not about Sadhguru, it's about soil. Just see, I look all soil today because I'm someone who doesn't live in my psychological space. My psychological space is largely empty. So I live on this planet. If you lived on this planet, how could you miss it that what you call as myself, this very body is soil? And every day there is a certain amount of exchange happening in terms of life between you and soil. As soil gets weaker, life speaks, but nobody is listening to life speaking because they are speaking all the time. It may look like I am talking all the time, but I am not. Within myself, I am always silent and listening. That is why, without reading a book, without any research, without any kind of support, I am who I am because I am listening.
तो आपका मानना है कि देश का सम्मान करना, मिट्टी का सम्मान करना, to respect our motherland, to respect soil, is an intrinsic quality that every citizen should have?
It is not about respecting soil, it's about treating it sensibly. We are always getting lost in these things. Only people who feel inadequate within themselves demand respect. Otherwise, respect is not what we need. For us to function in the world effectively, we need acceptance. Unnecessary resistance, if it's not there, everybody can do their work. The same goes for soil. You just have to accept it, that it is the source of your life. You don't have to respect it. You don't have to do puja to it. You just have to understand this is the source of your life. And if you handle it sensibly, everything in life is happy.
Would you like to highlight the three-pronged approach that you have talked about to all our viewers all across the country and are quite vague about what they should do but want inspiration from you on what they should be doing?
See, India is an agricultural country still, though we are talking a lot about it. You're getting a lot of media for IT industries and various things. I'm not saying it's wrong. It's important to move in those directions. Technology and works, it's good. But still, nearly 60% of the country's population are involved in agriculture. When 60% of the population is involved in agriculture, what is so fundamental to agriculture, which is the fertility of the soil, the enrichment of the soil, if that is not addressed, that means we are ignoring 60% of the country's population itself and their well-being. Agriculture is always a back-breaking activity. But today it is heartbreaking. That is the problem. Back-breaking is not a problem. If you break your back well, you will have a strong back like me. You can ride across the world. So this is an advertisement for a yogic back. So about the three-pronged approach, unless it is incentive-based, you cannot transform agriculture. Because agricultural economy has reached such a point of fragility, if you touch it, it'll collapse. Anything you try to do, it'll fall apart. So, one thing is, right now, India's average organic content is somewhere around 0.68%. If we offer an incentive, substantial incentive, for farmers to rise to 3%, because 3% is considered as the most minimum to call soil as soil. Naturally, most farmers will go for it. If we have issues with budgets and finances, we can go with smaller portion, that is, we can go for small farmers and medium farmers who account for nearly 85% of the farmers, but they farm only 47.3% of the land. So this 47.3% of the land, we should offer one set of incentives, because if you just finance or incentivize something as simple as cover cropping, which was a natural part of farming in this country just a few years ago, then the incentives will be very small. If you offer this for 3 to 4 years, in 4 years' time, they will be benefiting from carbon credit schemes. Carbon credit schemes needs to be simplified. That is the second level of incentive. Right now, the system is such that only industries can crack it. Farmers cannot crack it. It's important that you don't expect the farmer to come in search of you and come with all kinds of papers to prove he has sequestered carbon. No. If he has reached 3% organic content, there is enough science to tell you how much carbon he is sequestering. So you make a thumb rule. If you reach 3%, this is how much carbon you are sequestering, so you get this much. You must go in search of him and give it to him. So that's the second level of incentive. The third level of incentive is it needs market recognition. Right now we are talking about organic farming. If this vegetable is organic, what is the other one? Is it inorganic? There is no such thing. So it's important we quantify that this vegetable or fruit or grain comes from 3% organic content field. Now it is naturally at a certain shelf where it attracts a certain amount of price. So if it's 6%, it attracts that much, because there is enough science to tell you if it's 3%, what are the extra micronutrients present, what are the health benefits, what are the preventive health benefits, what are the benefits for the state.
So then what are the disincentives that we should be giving out?
I don't think...
we make sure that we penalize farmers who don't adhere to the 3 to 6%.
This is what I said. Right now, farm economy is so fragile.
That you cannot do.
You cannot do that. Disincentives may come after 12, 15 years, after promoting incentives. If somebody is stubborn and they just want to destroy the land, then a disincentive has to come. But right now, there need not be even a talk of disincentive, because right now, incentives are most vital. And above all, nobody may remain in farming in the next 25, 30 years' time, because we ourselves have done some kind of a vague survey which shows not even 2% of the farmers want their children to go into farming.
You want them to go into different...
No, because it's not lucrative. There is simply no earning there. Unless you make farming in such a way, as much as a doctor, engineer, lawyer, whatever they earn in a city, if the farmer doesn't earn that much, everybody will move towards the urban center. Next, you're making compulsory education. So children are going through education. Why will they go back to farming unless it is really lucrative?
So Sadhguru, coming back to this three-pronged approach, the inspiration obviously comes from somebody like you who has given 2.5 years to plan, and then you give 100 days of your life where you're spending 18 to 20 hours every single day. And the fact that you have reached right from children to the generations to come, that is the people who would be taking on this mission in the days to come. I want to ask you, where do you get this kind of energy from?
Shaina, last 40 years I've been telling you to do yoga, but you're postponing it. What can I do?
So is the answer just yoga?
See, when you say yoga, you are thinking of twisting, turning yoga. The word yoga means union. Right now, are you breathing? So if you close these two holes in the face, you're gone, isn't it? So what does this mean? You're doing yoga with the atmosphere, union. You eat, yoga with the soil. You drink water, yoga with all the water bodies. You are doing yoga, otherwise you cannot exist. If you do it consciously, then it opens up more than just nostrils and mouth. It will open up many aspects of your life. So this whole cosmos is a living cosmos. It's for you to take it. Who is stopping you except yourself?
75 years of India's independence, and it's quite ironic that on the 75th day you are in the national capital, and Amrit Mahotsav के निमित्त हम जानना चाहेंगे कि आप क्या कहना चाहते हैं, क्योंकि एक संदेश भी होगा कि अमृत महोत्सव के निमित्त भारत के प्रजातंत्र लोकतंत्र को लेके क्या कहना है सद्गुरु जी को.
So definitely 75 years is a symbolic thing, and we also got here in 75 days, and it happens to be World Environment Day. So these timings I don't calculate, these things happen always, because timing is not about a calculation. Timing is about the way the world revolves. This is why Indian calendar, or what we call as the Hindu calendar, is very important, because it considers the revolutions of the planet and the movement of the moon and sun as to how it's related to you. But today we've just come to numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 30. This is a very simplistic, childish way of doing calendar. So, this is what the Indian calendar means, or the Hindu calendar means, that organically you're connected to everything around you. See, I started the event on Equinox Day. Now I'm closing it on solstice. And it happens to be International Yoga Day, the day I enter the yoga center.
On the 21st
Yes,
of June?
and when I start, it is the World Forest Day. When I enter India, it is the World Environment Day. This is not...
One was noticing the incredible letters and different things made by children, which was their contribution to Save Soil. It's very tough to engage with children at that age and to make them realize the importance of your cause. How did this come about?
Children are not so much psychological creatures as adults have become, unfortunately. So they have more connection with life, and the moment you tell them something, they experientially know something. So over 15 lakh letters we have counted. Still they're pouring in. I don't know when it will stop. I asked for 10 million letters. Now more 1.5 million have come, and they're still coming. The best thing is, in Germany, the Education Ministry gave an official notice to all the schools in Germany and said all children should make artwork for Save Soil. Official notice. So, this is happening in the world like never before, simply because for too long people have hidden the problem of soil from the public. So the Save Soil movement has been an expose in the media terms that soil is the biggest problem we have, and we've been dodging it.
The most incredible part is how you have made India so popular world over.
No, don't say that.
I will have
I have not made India popular.
No, the international media that tends to be very critical has realized that India has so much to offer, and with this movement of yours, you've had the United Nations, you've had governments of various countries realizing that it's important to implement through policy. Do you think this is something in the days to come could be a solution for a lot of other ecological disasters, so to speak?
Not only for ecological things, for many human aspects, India could be a solution, because this is a nation that has invested in the inner well-being of the human being for such a long time. And because of this investment, we have a certain quality and a certain capability. At the same time, we have paid a huge price in the form of conquest, because too many people are invested in the within, and there were not enough fighting men probably, so that happened. So for that price, I think now is the time when human beings are going into such aberrations of psychological states, we're to a point where the World Health Organization is talking about a mental illness pandemic. If a mental illness pandemic is imminent, then India should be naturally in the leadership. So it's very important the Indians display some sense of balance and sanity, that if you yourself start going crazy, then you will not be an example for the world. So you have this responsibility as a citizen of this nation that you display an extraordinary sense of balance.
आपने बार-बार कहा है कि you must be part of the solution and not part of the problem. That's a very loaded statement, and everyone wants to be a part of the solution. जो आप एक संदेश देना चाहते हैं इस परिपेक्ष में सेव सॉइल को लेके, आपका एकमात्र संदेश क्या होगा?
See, if you are a farmer, then you should definitely see how to invest in enriching the soil, because it's not new. What I am saying is not new. Any farmer, when he enters the land, first thing is he picks up soil and feels it, whether it's alive or not. Well, today, unfortunately, this may be going away because somebody is trying to tell you how much nitrogen, how much phosphates and stuff like that. But it's important the soil is alive. Soil being alive is not just about nutrition, it's about the foundations of life. So, if you are a farmer, there is a different thing to do. For that we can send various, knowledge-based stuff, technical stuff. But as a citizen of this nation, even if you are a farmer, you are a citizen of this nation, and everyone else, you must understand, if we do not approach major problems with some sense of strategy, if we start doing everything at once, we will not do anything. somebody said something very insulting to India.
The time?
I would like to see he was wrong. To prove he was wrong, Albert Einstein said, Indians can't think beyond 15 minutes. I would like to prove that he met the wrong Indians. So this is why I am saying right now it is about policy. If policy has to happen, government has to feel comfortable that people are with them.
प्रधानमंत्री ने स्वयं कहा कि सॉइल हेल्थ कार्ड को लेके ये इनिशिएटिव सरकार के तरफ से रहा है. Obviously, the Indian Prime Minister is on the same page as you when
No, but see, how much ever it beats in his heart, unless people clearly express they are with him, he can't take those steps. He or anybody for that matter in the world.
You're talking about the farming community.
No, I am talking about the citizens of this country. If everybody does not express that if you take long-term steps, we are with you, no Prime Minister, no President, no leader of any nation can take those steps. Because after all he is elected to fulfill people's mandate, not to do something that he thinks is fantastic.
Right.
Please let's understand this. Because always this has become a habitual thing. Blame the politician. I am not empathizing with a politician or sympathizing with a politician. It's a responsibility and a position that they take, so both flowers and brickbats will happen to them. They are ready for that, that's a different matter. But if you want something long-term to happen in any given nation, it's important that people have to give a mandate. Where is the mandate? I'm trying to get that mandate. 60% of the population should stand up and say, yes, we are concerned about the soil, do something about it. Well, once everybody need not understand the intricacies of the problem, the intricacies of the solution, everybody need not understand this. This is a serious problem in India. We think everybody should understand everything. If everybody has to understand everything, you have to dumb down everything to point A. You cannot build anything. So, citizens understand their support is needed. Farmers understand they must make use of the incentive. Ministries should understand how to formulate policy. Like this, there are many levels of understanding. Everybody should understand everything in a news channel. It's a silly way to approach life. This is why he said we can't think beyond 15 minutes. We would like to prove him wrong, that we have thought thousands of years ahead of us. This has been the nation. Behind.
It goes into history, the kind of movement.
See, that is another problem. We're always glorifying our past.
Are we?
I'm saying we have a glorious past, but you must stand on the foundations of that, not endlessly talking about the glory of the past, because then you will forget to create a glorious future.
Well said. So you have 25 days to go, and all across the country. Is there any kind of experience you'd like to share that you feel has been truly phenomenal in your entire journey in India? From the time of Gujarat up until now and in the days to come, is there something you're looking forward to? Something that people don't know about?
See, I think anybody who's working in the farm, aspects of agriculture and related things, about people coming together and making a success out of it, they must visit Banas. What a phenomena they have created. This is the most phenomenal success of a cooperative movement. Right now, we are in the process of creating what is called as FPOs, or Farm Producer Organizations. We have one of the best farm producer performing organizations. We are running about 23 of them now. This is the future, that farmers come together, because right now the biggest problem is its lack of scale. There is no power of scale in anything that they do. So the scale can only happen in coming together. Banas is a fantastic example of that, how they have created prosperity in a very harsh land, very, very harsh land.
Right.
So this is a place people should visit to find out how successfully farmers have become a major corporation by themselves. This is what I have been mentioning in the South for the farmer producer organizations. Right now we have something like 1,400 plus farmers come together and created a big success. Their incomes have gone up by 250%. I have been talking about bringing at least 50,000 farmers together, making it such a big corporation that they're as big as industry. It's important that farmers earn as much as any other profession or more. Otherwise, nobody will remain in farming.
Right. और जैसे कि हमारे भाषा में हम कहते हैं कि आपके कार्यकर्ता या आपके जो फॉलोअर्स हैं, आपके जो वॉलंटियर्स हैं इतने कमिटेड हैं, और कोई भी ढंग और दृष्टि से आप देखें तो कोई भी संगठन ऐसा नहीं है जिसके पास इतना लेवल ऑफ कमिटमेंट है। कैसा होता है ये? ईशा फाउंडेशन का ये जो एक, एज यू से, द पिलर ऑफ ईशा फाउंडेशन इज ऑब्वियसली द इंस्पिरेशन गिवन बाय यू, बट टू हैव दिस काइंड ऑफ कमिटेड वॉलंटियर्स हु आर सेल्फलेसली कमिटेड टू योर विजन प्लान, हाउ डज दिस हैपन?
They are not people, they are just extension of my own limbs. That's how I feel them, that's how I experience them, that's how most of them experience themselves. And that is why it works the way it works, because this is the fantastic thing about them is, what about me has completely gone out of their minds and hearts. They don't think what about me. Once a human being does not calculate what about me, then they become so powerful you cannot stop them, as you see across the world what they have created now.
I believe in the days to come you are working on a big project in the United States. Would you like to share with our viewers what is going to be the future of Isha Foundation, even in countries like America?
Well, in the United States we don't have to do these kind of projects. Definitely we will move the safe soil policy there also, the government level, for which meetings are all lined up for me when I get back. But apart from that, I feel in an affluent country the most important thing is raising human consciousness. So the focus is on that. We are in the process of building infrastructure for that, and that is going on briskly. In the last few months I have not paid any attention. I have to get back to it a little bit.
क्योंकि हमारे दर्शक ज्यादातर हिंदी बोलते हैं, सदगुरु क्या हिंदी में कुछ गाना चाहेंगे? एक दो लाइन, ताकि हमारे जो दर्शक हैं भी आपके ये लिम्स बने.
I have done a 4-line song in Hindi, but that is looking at the paper and I sang, so… But now I can sing that song. Maybe in one of the public events I will sing. I already have sung, you can take the Tera Mera.
सदगुरु जी, सॉइल रीवाइटलाइजेशन एक बहुत ही कॉम्प्लेक्स सब्जेक्ट है, और उसके लिए कभी कभार लोगों को लिखित रूप में रेफरेंसेस के लिए पुस्तक की भी आवश्यकता है. आपने शायद इसके बारे में बहुत अध्ययन किया है, तो क्या आप इसको लेके would you like to bring out some of the crucial aspects of soil revitalization?
So we prepared 193 documents like this for 193 nations, large parts of it being common, but certain parts of it being unique to that nation, based on their latitudinal position, the soil types present there, the economic conditions of a given nation, and the agricultural traditions. Why agricultural traditions is, even if you have all the science on your side, you cannot change the agricultural traditions overnight. You have to take it into consideration. So 193 documents like this we made. We made one for India also, which we are sending it to our Prime Minister, the Agriculture Ministry, the Finance Ministry, Niti Aayog, and all the relevant people, and all the Chief Ministers in the country. With appropriate introduction letters, we are sending this to them, because this is not a policy. This is a policy handbook. What a policy handbook means is, some fundamental work, basic works that the ministries may have to do, they can avoid and focus on developing the policy, because policy involves finance, resources, variety of other things which only government can do. This is a technical handbook for them to use. Not that they don't have this knowledge, but it's not concise and presented this way, so that finance ministry will have to depend on another ministry. That ministry will have to depend on another institute. Now we have collated all that knowledge and put it here, so that it is like a ready reckoner for them. What are the things to be done and how to make it happen is their prerogative, how to make it happen.
सदगुरु जी, आप एक एक प्रदेश के साथ क्या कर रहे हैं? जैसे कि गुजरात में क्या किया, राजस्थान में क्या कर रहे हैं, और अभी आप महाराष्ट्र भी आ रहे हैं, तो MOUs जब बनती है, हर एक प्रदेश के लिए अलग बनते हैं?
MOU is, as you know, it's a memorandum of understanding. It is an expression of intent from the side of the state government that they wish to work with us. So the work will begin, but once we have the MOU, we know we have access to the offices and continue work with them. Anyway, we are giving them the revitalization handbook, but apart from that, certain amount of discussions and debates may happen. If some concepts and aspects are not clear, we could work with them. Government machinery is capable, perfectly capable of doing these things. But in the initial phases, when they're forming the policy in a given state based on the local realities, we could be of help to them because we have a large body of scientific, internationally acclaimed scientists with us. We could help them to formulate this. The technical aspects of it, rest of it, the state government is perfectly competent of doing that.
But is it different in every single state?
Yes, so for example, we've passed through Gujarat and Rajasthan. Rajasthan, as you know, is a desert state. Gujarat is largely barren kind of lands, and some lands are good. So the work there is very different than what we would do in Karnataka or Andhra Pradesh or Telangana, because it's very different kinds of lands.
And have your volunteers contributed to these MOUs as well?
MOU is a simple document. It's a connect with the state government to continue the work.
Sadhguru, is there a sense of fatigue after doing so many interviews, speaking on so many events, and trying not to repeat yourself and coming up with interesting facts all the time? Is it exhausting?
I'm not doing anything like that. It depends on your question and I just answer. Just for your information, in the last 76 days I have done, this is the 527th interview or event. So 527 events and interviews I have done in the last 76 days. I don't look exhausted for sure.
The kind of love and respect you get from all your volunteers and from citizens alike, I'm sure gives you even more energy. Sadhguru, if you hadn't taken on this initiative of Save Soil, what would the future of our generations be?
I would like to believe if I didn't take it up, somebody would and make it happen. Maybe not in the same style, but in some way it would, because if it doesn't happen, there would be no future really.
And do you think it makes a difference that people see you as somebody who's not a hypocrite, who goes on this trendy bike, sings, dances with them and gets them to believe in your cause through different techniques of how to engage with different...
See, what is the point of speech if you speak a language that people don't understand? So unfortunately, in the name of scholarship, a lot of people have become like this. They will speak in languages that nobody can understand. They will use words and things that nobody can understand. The purpose of speech, in my understanding of life, is to make somebody understand what they cannot understand by themselves. So if you're doing just the reverse, what they know, if you want to confuse them, simple things you want to complicate. No, complicated things you must make it simple.
What a wonderful note to end on. And as we come to the end of this show, मैं आपसे विनती करूंगी कि आपका संक्षेप में संदेश पूरे देशवासियों को जो इस कार्यक्रम को सुन रहे हैं रेडियो पे और देख रहे हैं टेलीविजन पे. मिट्टी बचाओ, save soil. Thank you, Sadhguru, and wish you all the very best in the endeavors and the 25 days that are still left of this 100-day movement of yours. More success to you, and as you've created history in India and world over, we as Indians are proud to have you. Thank you.
This is not about creating history. This is about crafting a future.
Well said. On that note, not creating history, but crafting a future. A future for generations to come. A future for all our children to realize that by saving soil, we're saving our Mother Earth. Thank you for joining us.
Namaskar.
You were listening to an interview with Sadhguru Jaggi Vasudev on the status of world environment. Interviewer was Prasar Bharati board member Shaina NC. This program was produced and presented by the News Services Division of All India Radio. You can listen to it on our mobile app, News on AIR. This program is also available on our YouTube channel, News on AIR Official. You may email your opinion about this program at airnsdtalks@gmail.com.